and sat down right next to me. Half the chairs were empty, you had every place to be. The water moved between the lights, turning blue into silver. You looked away for 2 seconds, I noticed both of them. Nobody crossed the line, that's what it looked like from far away. Pool rules say keep your distance, you broke that one without a sound. Pool rules say don't get carried away. Now I'm still thinking about you leaving, and you haven't left. You asked what I was listening to, then took one side of my headphones. The song wasn't special until that moment. Now I can't hear it without you in it. A text came through, you didn't answer, just turn the screen face down. Nobody crossed the line, that's what we tell them if they ask. Pool rules say keep your distance, you broke that one without a sound. Pool rules say don't get carried away. Now I'm still thinking about you leaving, and you haven't left. And you haven't left. I know your room number only because you laughed when you told me. I know your hometown and your favorite season. That's more than enough for one night. Pool rules say nothing about this, nothing about a look that stays. Pool rules never mention how a few small moments could change the whole shape of a night. Pool rules, I thought I'd follow them until I met you. And you haven't left. Pools.
You said come with me, like it wasn't a big deal. Next thing I knew, I was taking roads I never take on my own. I used to leave right after work. Now I'm staying out for no good reason. You make ordinary things hard to ignore. Colored earth, that's what changed. Not the sky, not the world, just the way I see it now. Color, that's what you do. Everywhere I look, there's a little more than there was before. I started listening to different songs, letting them play all the way through. Started saying yes a little more, started caring less what people think. You'd probably say it's nothing, but I know it wasn't there before. You make ordinary things hard to ignore. Colored earth, that's what changed. Not the sky, not the world, just the way I see it now. Color, that's what you do. Everywhere I look, there's a little more than there was before. You didn't save me, you didn't fix me, you just showed up and something shifted, that's all. That's enough. Colored earth, that's what
back, then disappeared behind the hotel doors. I checked the water for your reflection before I realized what I was doing. A couple walked past without a word. The pool light shifted from blue to green. I kept my place like you noticed if I wasn't there. Your phone's on the chair, your drinks by the rail. That's enough to make me stay. Deep end, that's where it started. Just a look, then a little too far. Deep end, now I'm counting seconds. Every splash sounds like you coming back. The towel you borrowed fell to the ground. I picked it up, then dropped it again. The music changed 3 times already. I knew because I never stopped listening. Someone laughed from the balcony for a second. I thought it was you. I thought it was you. You could hear it killing. I thought of you to keep me here. Deep end, that's where it started. Just a look, then a little too far. Deep end, now I'm counting seconds. Every splash sounds like you coming back. If you walk out smiling, I'll act normal. If you don't, I'll act normal too. Either way, I've rehearsed it about 100 times since you left. Deep end, you made it look easy. One small move and the whole night changed. Deep end, now the water's sailing, but my head is going everywhere. Deep end, you still haven't noticed what I've been trying not to say. Every splash sounds like you coming back. Replay. Huh? You said, hand out. I said, yeah, me too. 20 minutes later, we were still talking in the same spot, like neither one of us had somewhere to be. I knew better, that's the worst part. Replay. I know this feeling, I know this road, I know this version of me. Replay, replay. I tell myself this time it's different, then I do the same thing, yeah. My friends could probably call it word for word. They've seen this movie way too many times. I'll make a promise, break it by Friday, look surprised. Every single time I knew better, I still win anyway. Replay, I still win anyway. Replay. I know this feeling, I know this road, I know this version of me. Replay, replay. Here we go. Replay, replay, recount. We go. Replay. Here we go again. Third drawer down, looking for batteries, found something I forgot was it. Held it for a second, put it back. Closed the door, then opened it again. The game was on, the room was noisy. I missed a line every few minutes. Kept reaching over for no reason, like I left something running. You ever have a day that won't stay where you put it? I was doing alright till I found that little thing buried underneath receipts and random paper scraps. I was doing alright. That's the funny part. One small object and the whole week starts again. Gas station coffee, halfway home, red light, 3 cars long, heard a song I didn't recognize, still knew exactly where it came from. Thought about calling, didn't do it. Thought about driving, didn't do that too. Just watched the timer change numbers while the radio filled the silence. You ever have a day that circles back around? I was doing alright till I found that little thing buried underneath receipts and random paper scraps. I was doing alright. That's the funny part. One small object and the whole week starts again. It's never the big moments people talk about, it's always something small that catches you off guard. A number, a receipt, your name written somewhere you weren't looking for. I was doing alright till I found that little thing. Thought I left it with the weekend and the hotel lights. I was doing alright for a little while, then the whole thing came back alive. flat. You always make it look so easy. I always make it harder than it is. I had a good reason for keeping my distance until tonight. Cold, that's what I called it when I stopped reaching out and stopped checking in. Cold, that's what I called it, but every time you hear it, it starts again. Maybe I wasn't cold, maybe I was waiting, maybe there's a difference I don't wanna name. Maybe moving on looks different from a distance than it does up close. Cold, that's what I called it, just to make it sound like I had control. Cold, that's what I called it, but if I'm honest, I never really let you go. Cold, that's what I called it, and maybe I was wrong all along. There's one cube left at the bottom of your drink, spinning slowly. Every time you move the glass, nobody mentioned what time it was, like we had some way to stop it. The music got lower, the shadows got longer. We stayed anyway. Last ice cube floating in the silence, trying not to disappear. Just last ice cube, holding on to something that was already gone before we knew it. You were smiling at something small. I don't remember what it was now. Funny how the details fade, but the feeling stays long after everything else leaves. The night kept stretching past its edges. Nobody reached for the door. We kept talking like there'd always be another summer waiting for us. The lights got dimmer, the night got softer. We stayed anyway. Last ice cube, floating in the silence, trying not to disappear. Just last ice cube, holding on to something that was already gone before we knew it. Maybe that's the reason we never checked the time. Some moments feel better unfinished. Maybe we already knew before the night was through. Nothing lasts forever. That's what made it shine. Circling in the glass like it's trying to make the moment last. Last ice cube, almost gone now, but somehow the feeling's still around. Last ice cube, holding on to summer 1 second longer than it should.
You said, what's the plan? I said, I haven't got one. You said, good. And somehow my whole night changed direction. I know how this ends. I I still show up. I said I wasn't going, now I'm putting on my shoes. I said I had no interest, now I'm standing next to you. Every single time I think I've got it handled. You make one phone call and there goes my weekend. Never make it easy, that's probably the point. You ask one simple question and suddenly I'm involved. I tell myself I'll leave early, then we're watching the sun come up. I know how this ends, I still show up. I said I wasn't going, now I'm putting on my shoes. I said I had no interest, now I'm standing next to you. Every single time I think I've got it handled. You make one phone call and there goes my weekend. I'm not complaining, that's the problem. If you asked again, I'd probably come. I said I wasn't. I said I wasn't. I said I wasn't going, you already knew I would. I try acting different, it never does me any good. Every single time I think I've got it handled, you say come out for a bit, and there goes my weekend. There goes my weekend. There goes my weekend.
You said I'll leave you alone, like I was helping at all. And send another message 10 minutes later. Guess we both know how this goes. I keep telling myself not to love. Do not disturb unless it's you. I hate that line, but it's the truth. Do not disturb, that's what I need, that's what I want, and those aren't the same things. You always show up right when I'm good, right when I'm finally thinking straight. One conversation turns into 3 hours every single time without fail. I keep saying this is the last one, then it isn't. Do not disturb unless it's you. I hate that line, but it's the truth. Do not disturb, that's what I need, that's what I want, and those aren't the same thing. If you call right now, I'd answer. If I call right now, I regret it. That's
said tomorrow, like it was nothing, like it wasn't waiting right outside the door. I tried to laugh and change the subject, but we both knew what tomorrow meant. The night got quieter every minute. We pretended not to notice. After pool hours, you look different, like somebody already halfway gone. After pool hours, I kept listening to everything you didn't say. You kept talking about small things, places to visit, people back home. I kept counting all the moments that suddenly felt too important.